You've been saving, maybe for a while now. You have a number in your account that you're genuinely proud of. And now it just sits there, earning almost nothing, while somewhere in the back of your mind there's this low hum of a question you keep not quite answering. Shouldn't I be doing something more with this? You've heard the word investing your entire adult life. You know it matters. But every time you get close to actually doing something about it, the whole thing starts to feel complicated and risky, and somehow designed for people who understand things you don't, so the money stays where it is. Safe, comfortable, and very slowly, quietly, losing ground to inflation. If that's where you are right now, this is for you. Here's what I think actually gets in the way, and it's not what the financial world usually tells you. The common assumption is that people don't invest because they don't have enough money or don't know enough about the stock market. But those are rarely the real barrier. The real barrier is psychological. It's the gap between a savings mindset and an investing mindset. Saving feels safe because it is safe. The number only goes up, and your brain finds deep comfort in that predictability. Investing, on the other hand, asks you to accept uncertainty in exchange for growth. It asks you to watch your number go down sometimes and trust that staying the course is still the right decision. That is genuinely hard, not because you're not smart enough, but because your brain is wired to interpret loss as danger. So before we talk about any practical steps, understand this. The reason you haven't made this move yet is not laziness or ignorance. It's that nobody ever helped you bridge that emotional gap. And that's what I want to do here. Most videos about investing jump straight to telling you where to put your money. Index funds, ETFs, individual stocks. And then people try to act on that and find themselves paralyzed because they skipped an essential step nobody told them about. Before you invest a single dollar, you need to know which dollars you're actually allowed to invest. Your money serves different purposes. Some of it is your safety net. Some of it is earmarked for something specific in the next few years, and some of it is genuinely available for the long term. These three categories need to be separated before anything else happens. Your safety net, your emergency fund, exists to absorb the unpredictable, the car that breaks down, the medical bill, the slow month at work. The general guidance is 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses, not your total income, just what it costs you to keep your life running. This money is not for investing. Its job is simply to be there when life gets unpredictable. And here's why this matters so much before you start investing. If an emergency hits and your only accessible money is tied up in the market, you may be forced to sell at exactly the wrong time. Markets go down. They always have. If you sell during a downturn to cover an emergency, you lock in that loss permanently. The emergency fund exists specifically to prevent that. Once that safety net is in place, think about your shorter-term goals. A down payment, a wedding, a career transition. Money you'll need within the next 1 to 3 years has no business being in the stock market. Markets can drop and stay down for months or even years. If your down payment is in an index fund and the market drops 30% right before you need it, your timeline gets derailed through no fault of your own. Money you need soon is better held in something stable, like a high-yield savings account, where you're at least earning a meaningful interest rate while preserving what you've saved. Now, once your safety net is funded and your near-term goals are parked appropriately, something shifts. The money that remains is the money that can genuinely go to work for you over time. The money that has the luxury of being patient. And patience, it turns out, is the single most powerful financial resource most people have and consistently underestimate. Here's why. When your investment earns a return, that return gets added to your balance. Then you earn a return on that too. The growth builds on itself, slowly at first, then in a way that feels almost disproportionate to the effort involved. A person who starts investing at 25 with a modest amount each month will almost certainly end up with more than someone investing twice as much starting at 35, simply because of those additional years of compounding. This is why waiting until you feel completely ready is, quietly, one of the more expensive decisions people make. So where do you actually begin? First, Check if you have access to a workplace retirement account. If your employer matches contributions and you're not taking full advantage of that match, you're leaving part of your compensation on the table. That match is the closest thing to a guaranteed return that investing ever offers. Beyond that, individual retirement accounts offer meaningful tax advantages, either deferring taxes until retirement or, in a Roth structure, allowing your money to grow and be withdrawn completely tax-free. What you invest in inside these accounts is a separate question. And for someone beginning, the honest answer most thoughtful financial thinkers agree on is that broad, low-cost index funds are a reasonable starting point. An index fund tracks a large collection of companies rather than trying to pick individual winners. Because they don't require active management, fees are low. And because they hold a wide range of companies, no single failure devastates your portfolio. Beginning investors often imagine they need to become expert stock pickers before they can start. That simply isn't true. Here's the reframe I want you to sit with, because I think it changes everything. The shift from saving to investing is not really a financial event. It's an identity shift. Saving is something you do to protect yourself from the present. Investing is something you do to build a relationship with your future self. When you start to think of investment contributions not as money leaving your life, but as money being sent forward in time to someone who will desperately need it, the emotional equation changes. It stops feeling like sacrifice and starts feeling like responsibility. A growing investment portfolio slowly expands the choices available to you. A difficult work situation becomes something you can afford to leave. A health issue doesn't automatically become a financial catastrophe. Some version of retirement becomes an actual destination rather than an abstract hope. That kind of quiet financial security isn't just about wealth, it's about freedom. Let's make this concrete, because I don't want this to fade by morning. If you're at the beginning, start by getting clear on where your money actually stands. What do you earn each month? What does it cost you to live? And what is genuinely left over? That leftover number, however large or small, is your starting point. If your emergency fund isn't funded yet, direct your energy there first and make it automatic. Small amounts accumulate in ways that feel surprising over time. Once that foundation is solid, if a workplace retirement account is available and you're not using it, look into it this week. Not to understand everything perfectly, just to know what it is and what the employer match looks like. That one act of understanding is the beginning of participation. Then start with whatever amount is honest and sustainable for your life right now, because consistency over years matters far more than the size of any individual contribution. A small amount invested regularly for a long time will quietly outperform a large amount invested sporadically and anxiously. The path from saving to investing is not a leap. It's a series of small, honest steps taken by someone who decided to take their future seriously, without abandoning their present. The people who build meaningful financial security over a lifetime are rarely the ones who made one brilliant move. They are almost always the ones who started earlier than they felt ready, stayed consistent longer than felt necessary, and forgave themselves quickly on the days when they weren't perfect. You have time, and the best moment to take the next step is always the one you're currently in. Progress is enough. Progress has always been enough.